Additionally, I think a lot of bands are doing a good job of diversifying what they're doing. And small business owners, listen up because they've done this really well. It used to be that they would make the majority of their sales from just ticket sales.
Hey everyone, welcome to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast, where we celebrate the S.O.B that you are, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we mean small-owned business. We don't mean S.O.B.
Listen, we know that as a small business owner, you are working hard on the daily to keep your business fully operational while trying to promote it. And while some days it may feel like the business is owning you, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you would admit that you wouldn't give up the insanity for anything.
Our commitment here at the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is to give you the real talk, what works when it comes to advertising, marketing, promoting your business, and then what doesn't really work.
And Chelsea and I promise to always keep the conversation real.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast. S.O.B as in small-owned business, not S.O.B as in S.O.B.
Son of a biscuit.
Son of a biscuit. Today we have a topic that I am so excited for. I'm dressed for it. I have my Bad Omen shirt on today. It's one of my favorite bands right now. We are talking about band marketing and all of the marketing ideas, strategies, all that good marketing that we can take from bands and apply them to our small businesses. Now, before we get started, I do just want to say thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, go ahead and share it with someone that you think will get a lot out of this, and subscribe, follow, leave us a 5-star review, all of that stuff. It helps to get our name out there so that we can help other small businesses with their marketing.
Yes, please, please, please share. And if you have any ideas for future topics that you want us to cover, certainly go ahead and email us at help@theseasonmarketer.com. Now, Chelsea, before we jump right into the tips and the stuff that we like to see bands doing that small business owners can also do to promote their products and services, I do want to talk about the fact that this is something that's near and dear to Chelsea and I's heart, simply because a lot of people may not know, but we love going to concerts together. Love, 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 love it. So this is something where I feel like Chelsea and I, because we listen to a lot of music, we follow bands, we kind of see it from both perspectives. And I know she can appreciate when I get on these email lists and I get notifications, whether they're dropping singles or they're releasing albums, whatever it is, I get super excited because I'm like, yes, that's the stuff you should be doing. You should be teeing it up. You should be taking advantage of that email list. And there are gaps sometimes where I kind of want to reach out to them and be like, you should be doing more. You could do so much with just a little bit, right? So
I think it's so funny that you say that because I have the same experience, but with social media. So my Instagram knows that I'm a big music person. I am all about music. When I was younger, I wanted to be a music producer or a band manager. I ended up in marketing instead, and I love my job. My Instagram is just it's full of up and coming bands. And I see the content that they're creating, and it's so good. It's so good. And I just want to message them and be like, your marketing's great. You're going to get there. You're doing so good.
That's amazing. You should message them and tell them that. I mean, it never hurts to reiterate to people that they're doing a fabulous job at, promoting and getting their stuff out there. Plus, listen, if you got a small band, if you guys are out there and you need some marketing help, Chelsea and I can definitely, we would love to be able to start doing stuff in the music industry just because, like she said, it's her jam. She's been wanting to do this for a long time. And I think there's no reason why you can't mesh two passions together.
That is a great point. You're inspiring me. Okay, well, I think let's go ahead, jump right in, because I want to say the number one thing that musicians and bands are great at doing that I really want small businesses to start working on is creating hype. So just like you were saying, when they send out emails because a new single's releasing or an album's releasing, they'll do the same thing on social media. They'll post like a little cryptic post, stuff like that. They're creating buzz. They're creating hype for that future product because their music is just a product.
Yeah, and so let's also address, Chelsea, the time frame. When people talk about releasing and promoting stuff ahead of time, I know there's this weird thing, and trust me, I get it because I do communications all day long, internal, external. It's hard for us as human beings to repeat ourselves so often. Okay. So the thing is, what ends up happening is maybe you'll post about it 1 or 2 times, or maybe you'll release a cryptic story or put it on a reel and say, like, hey, we're about to release something exciting, and just kind of tease it out. We feel like doing that 3 more times is super repetitive, but what we don't remember, or we have a tendency of forgetting, is basically that just because you've said it one time doesn't mean that that person on the other end has heard it, because we are bombarded with information on a daily basis. And so it could be that, saying it one time is not enough. So time frame wise, 6 to 8 weeks before you are releasing a type of promotion or a sale. That's not too far in advance. That's 2 months. If you guys are looking to, to go ahead and just kind of start promoting stuff ahead of time, 2 months, 6 weeks, good time frame.
And you don't have to do it just with like a new product or a new product line. Maybe you have a big announcement that you want to announce, or maybe you're going to be opening at a time that you usually don't anymore. You can tease that stuff too. I mean, it's again just trying to create that interest so that people feel excited about what you have going on.
And let's talk about some of the mechanisms that bands are doing these days, because this is what has amazed me about them. Their ability to shapeshift, over the years is fascinating to me, because while there are purists out there that say, it's all about the music, y'all, it's always been about the marketing, okay? You cannot be a successful musician or band without having the hand in hand with the marketing initiatives, okay? It just comes with the territory, because that's the only way that you're actually going to make money off of selling your records or your music. Now, it could just be a hobby and maybe you're not interested in, in making money off of it. But at the end of the day, musicians are small business owners. They are their business. Their music, that's their business. And so what's interesting to me is we had this happen at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. They, right there, while you're waiting, they had these huge banners. And of course, remind me what stadium we were in, Chelsea. It was in Charlotte?
Yes, in Charlotte. We're at Bank of America.
Yes. So where they play the football games, Carolina Panthers, all that good stuff. They have these huge banners, and on there it had an image of them, and it said, text this number to get on their text list, right? And while we were there, we're sitting there waiting for them. So of course, I opt into it, and they do such a good job of sending reminders and sending. So they utilize SMS text marketing to get those teasers out there as well. So as far as keeping up with the times, these bands are on it, y'all.
Yeah. Green Day does a great job of it too when it comes to email marketing.
How many emails do you get from them typically?
Ooh, I'm not 100% sure. Now, here's the thing. They also, Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong also owns Oakland Coffee, I think, which I'm also subscribed to. Now, here's the irony of it. I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee.
So I get all these emails from this coffee company, and I just delete them because I don't drink coffee.
Oh, but the stuff girls do for boys. Getting on a coffee subscription email list even though you don't drink coffee.
I think it was because at some point they were doing like a giveaway or a raffle or something, like if you join the subscription list, then, and I just never opted out of it afterwards.
So similarly, though, I'll tell you that's one of the areas that I constantly think. So I'm a huge Goo Goo Dolls fan, and I'm on their email list. And I can tell you they do send out emails for big announcements, but I do think that there's a little room for improvement as far as like I wouldn't mind getting an email from them once every 2 weeks, just with updates of like where they're touring. And also, they could repurpose their content from like Instagram or Facebook, wherever else, and just embed it in there to get people engaged and just be top of mind all the time. They also do, I think this is another area where, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, like some of the stuff that they can be doing outside of just like sales in general, ticket sales. But the thing is, if you're out there doing podcasts, whether you're a small business owner or a band, if you're out there doing podcast interviews or, any of these, like, I don't know, you get interviewed for anything, you get put, a press release goes in the newspaper, right? They do an article on you. Yeah. You guys repurpose that to your email list. I mean, The thing is, it could be that they're not looking at that. They're not subscribed to that podcast. They're not reading that particular newspaper. It just helps to kind of fill that bank of like, hey, we're doing good in the community, or this is where you can catch us. And then you're getting more views on it, which is great and what you want.
Okay, so a thing that great bands do really well is branding. Because all a band is a good solid brand, brand. Huh. To be
they're a brand minus the R.
Knowing who you are is going to help you present yourself to the right audience. And that's really important when it comes to bands as well. A band that I know that does this amazingly, 𝐑𝐄𝐋𝐀𝐓𝐄𝐃. If you go on their social media accounts, their TikTok, their Instagram, if you're not their target audience, you're going to think, what is this? It's going to be insane.
Well,
let me tell you that right now.
Let's test it out, because I literally do not know anything about this band. This is why I keep Chelsea Lily around, because she informs me of all this cool stuff that I just did not know I needed in my life, but apparently do. Hold on.
Well,
so they're called what?
𝐑𝐄𝐋𝐀𝐓𝐄𝐃. I can read you their
𝐑𝐄𝐋𝐀𝐓 music. Do it.
Okay, so their About section on Spotify says, "We make pop music for alt kids. Does it let you say fuck on here? Ha ha."
See, on Instagram, they toned it down a little without the F word, and they've said, "We make pop music for emo kids." So they replaced the alt with emo. So, and nothing about the F word is in there. Let's see. I'm looking through their stuff. Yeah. So here's the thing, Chelsea, to your point, I'm glad that you brought this up. We consistently say around here that you are not for everybody. Yes. Your business is not going to be for everybody. Like, just go ahead and accept that and be totally cool with that. Unless you are making toilet paper, you are not for everybody. Okay. The thing
and even then, are you for everybody?
Do you know that in some countries why you do not shake hands with people?
Well,
because they don't use toilet paper, they use their hand. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing, though, is you understanding, like Chelsea said, doing the hard work and understanding who you are as a small business and who you are for, who you are fixing problems for or helping along the way, that really helps for you to get granular on the people that you need to attract to consume your product or service or to buy from you. And that's where I think, to your point, for them, okay, you're not an alt kid, you're not an emo kid. They're not making music for you. They're telling you straight up, like, hey, if you're into Christian bands, we ain't it. So it's very good to be upfront and clear about what type of content or, stuff that you're putting out there, just because it allows people to very quickly decide if they do want to follow you. And really, Chelsea, that piggybacks off of what, the other thing that I think we say ad nauseum around here is that if you're building a following, it's better that you build a following of engaged people that want to be there, right? So great that you go viral. Half those people aren't going to care about the next video you put out there because they're just there for one and done, right?
Exactly. And that's what I was going to bring up is, even though you are getting niche with your audience, those people that you're reaching are the people that are actually going to want to engage with you, are actually going to want to purchase something from you. So again, focusing on your target audience, the people that want to hear from you, need your product, something like that. The best way to do that is with some really good branding. Just being honest about who you are.
I love it. I'm here for it. The flip side of that too is, let's also mention the fact that in marketing, there are two numbers that we talk about. And the first one is going to be how much it costs for you to bring somebody new into your realm, right? So like that new customer, how much does it cost you to get a new customer through your door or to purchase from you? The other number we talk about is how much money are you spending to get a reoccurring sale? So once the person is a new customer to you, how much are you having to spend to get them to purchase from you again? Bands do this wonderful thing when they're niching down and they're very upfront about who they are and who they are making music for. They do this great job of selling to them consistently after that. And a perfect example of this is, we went to a Smashing Pumpkins concert recently. There was a lady that was very cute. Well, I take that back. She wasn't cute, but she was very happy to be there.
Okay.
Don't come at me, y'all. Okay, you just had to be there. She was there and she was super, super engaged. Okay. And so the thing is, once we started talking to her, she goes to, I don't know how many concerts. So, I mean, the amount of money that they're making off of this one lady is astronomical. And then she brings her husband with her to every single thing. So now they have 2 sales consistently. I don't know how many times a year just from one person. But that's where, when Chelsea is saying that being able to niche down is going to give you a way more engaged audience, she's saying to you, you guys are going to be selling to those people way more than if you get someone that's like not interested in what you're doing. I mean, you're working twice as hard just to get one sale, when if you're attracting the right people and you're telling them up front, then it's like, okay, well, I could sell to you like 10 more times, 20 more times, and you're here for it because you're digging what we're doing.
Yes, and that goes into my next point, which was going to be about loyalty and creating a community. Because let me tell you, these fans, have you ever met a Taylor Swift fan? Insane. I am not saying anything bad about Taylor Swift. I'm just saying she got a real strong fan base. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so does Beyonce, but that's the thing is, what I love, it's kind of like what they say about people that are vegan, okay? Like, it's almost like they're going to tell you they're vegan before they tell you their name, okay? Yeah. That's what they lead with. Beyonce, Taylor Swift, their followings, to your point, are very, I think engaged. What it is, yes, engaged, but it's also a badge. Let's talk about the effect of, like, we talk about a scarlet letter. I don't think people anymore are into, like, they're not into shaming people. Let people do whatever they want, and it's like, you be you, more power to you. Oh my gosh. Do you hear my rooster?
I heard your rooster.
Okay. So, but here's the thing is, nowadays I feel like these badges are, we want to tell people what community we're a part of. We're a Swiftie, right? We even come up with these like little nicknames for it, right? We're Swifty. What's the one that they say about like Dead, the Grateful Dead? What are they called?
Is it Deadheads?
I think they're Deadheads.
Is it Deadheads?
So, but that's the thing is,
my friend Janine's gonna be so mad if I got that wrong.
You should probably start typing your apology letter right now.
I know.
But that's the thing is, they want to put that flag out there. They want to wave it proudly and say, I am a part of this community. You could be a part of as many communities as you want, but same goes for businesses. So the power of building that community is the fact that you are going to have an army of people that are going out there and just going to be brand evangelists for you, right? They're going to go out there and talk about your business, your products and services. Another one that's like this is from a business perspective. What are those? And this just shows that I'm not into buying expensive leggings. What are those expensive leggings that everybody has? Lululemons?
I think that's right. I think it's Lulu, or is it Lulu-Roo? Or is it Lululemons?
No, it's Lululemons. Lulu-Roo, I think, is the stuff that people sell on Facebook. Like that they can MLM.
It's the MLM. Okay, well, I probably heard it from a true crime podcast then, is what I'm thinking of. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so not Lulu-Roo, Lululemons.
Okay.
They're it's the same thing when people buy Lululemons, they are all about it and they want to like tell everyone that they got new Lululemon stuff. Like they love the brand, but that's what you're wanting to do for your small business as well. So Chelsea,
absolutely.
Do you have any active tip that people can do today to start just building a community? What does that look like?
That is a really good question. I think it does come back to branding. And I know that's not helpful, but just sharing your story and sharing why your product means so much to you and why you do what you do is going to help you create a connection. So a great way to do this, the Design Demon is constantly sharing personal stuff on her stories. And I love the Design Demon. I am an evangelist for her. I have so many of her earrings, so many of her products, and I will tell everyone they're Design Demon. I think what she does great is she has embedded herself. Not only has she taken the time to explain who she is and really create a strong brand, but she has also embedded herself into the community. So all of the haunts that I haunt, so the Feminist Magic Market, the Y'all-Mart, Halloween, all of those things, she is always there. Her and I recognize each other on spot now, like on site. That works really well for her because... Am I being loud?
Can you back the train up? And I hate to interrupt you on this, but all the haunts I haunt, what is this? Like, is that a thing kids are seeing these days?
Is that not a thing people
say that again?
All the haunts that I go to, like all the places, is that not a thing?
Oh, okay. I mean, it probably is a thing, and I just don't know about it. That's a cool saying. I'm going to start practicing it so I can start saying it.
Now I feel like I said it wrong. All the haunts I go to, all the haunts I haunt. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, are you looking it up?
I was gonna look it up.
That's fine.
You do you, boo, though. Keep going. So you were talking about you love that she's so transparent that she's showing you basically exactly who she is, and you guys are now. It's like you, over time, when you're watching that, you have a vested interest in it, and that's how she's building her community.
It's kind of like she's done a great job of making herself, it feels like she's a friend that I also sometimes buy stuff from instead of a business, which is what she is. I I don't know anything about her. Like, she's not, I mean, I like to think we're friends, but like, she's not my real friend, you know? Like, she's a business, but I have such a strong connection with her because of the way she's branded herself, because of her consistency, which again, consistency is a really big thing when it comes to marketing your business. Staying consistent is going to allow people to, over time, grow with you. They're going to get used to you, if that makes sense.
It does. And I agree with that. Actionable steps, one of them you were just talking about, actionable steps to build a community would look like aligning yourself with the group of people or the community that you want to be a part of. So like Chelsea said, she just rattled off all of the events that Design Demon is going to. She has done so many of those that now she's aligned herself with this greater community that she now taps into to say like, hey, by the way, here's my product. You know, if you guys are interested, because you guys are my type of people, and I know you would like the products I'm creating. The other part of it, I think, too, when you talk about actionable steps, is something that goes along with aligning with the community, but perhaps aligning yourself with a cause. So communities, you know, and people like to feel like they are doing more than just spending money, right? So if you are a small business that can align yourself with a nonprofit in the area, and therefore you consistently are showing that you guys are engaging in that nonprofit and helping out, volunteering, donating proceeds, whatever it is, then it allows people to kind of feel like they're doing this greater sense of good than just going out there and, you know, spending their hard-earned money. And then on top of it too, I think, like Chelsea said, is the transparency that creates really good way for people to feel like, hey, it's relatable. Yep. What she's saying, I understand, I agree with, and I relate. And so those are all things that you guys can start doing, I think, today, or start thinking about that can easily be done. Sometimes, you know, it just takes a little bit of time to get that off the ground.
Yes, it is going to take a little bit of time to create and to build not only a brand, but that community and that loyalty. But it's definitely something that's going to help your small business tenfold. So definitely something that you should try to work on.
Do you love making crafts and working on your small business, but struggle to get them in front of customers?
Do craft fairs, events, or pop-ups leave you feeling overwhelmed or frustrated?
Introducing Rock Your Fair, the course designed to help you succeed in the world of craft fairs, pop-ups, and events, created by 2 marketing professionals with over 15 years of experience. Rock Your Fair is perfect for anyone who's new to the game or just wants to step up their game.
Our step-by-step approach will guide you through everything you need to know, from choosing the right events, to setting up your booth, to marketing your products effectively.
And you know what? You'll also get access to us for personalized coaching and feedback, so you can put your best foot forward.
Do not let craft fairs, pop-ups, and events hold you back. Sign up for Rock Your Fair today and start rocking your way to success.
For a limited time, get access to our free mini course. Simply head over to our website at www.theseasonmarketer.com and click on workshops. You know what I just thought about too is the way that you see this in bands is you talk about openers. That's essentially what they're doing. These opening bands, when they're asked to come on tour, the reason they will either, you know, accept it or decline it is, for one, the fan base of the, you know, the touring group. So it's interesting. Like when we went to Smashing Pumpkins, they had that band. What was their name, Chelsea? It was
Interpol? Interpol.
Interpol. Yeah. So Interpol was an opener for the Smashing Pumpkins. And so they're basically doing exactly what we're recommending with, like, you know, when you're attaching yourself to a community, it's like, hey, that community is already established for the Smashing Pumpkins, and we're getting exposure into that community, and the likelihood of us having the same followers that would like them and also like us, you know, that's kind of congruent. So we'll get a percentage of that to convert over to, you know, to fans of our band. And so I think that's where they do that really well, and it helps for small businesses as well.
Well, I think that's a great example of also making sure you're picking the right causes. Because there have been times that we have gone to concerts and the opening bands were not the vibe. They probably were good bands, but we just weren't the right audience for them. So making sure that you're actually picking and aligning yourself with causes and events that are going to help you get in front of your target audience, really important.
Absolutely. I would imagine the design demon is not going to be doing any church bazaars anytime soon. Like, that would probably not be her speed.
Probably not. Yeah. My next point is scarcity. And let me explain myself. This is actually how we came up with this entire topic idea, because I was telling Vivian that for Christmas, I really want this vinyl, this record from Bad Omens, but they only printed 250 copies of it. So it's kind of expensive. That's why I haven't bought it yet. And that's why I want it for Christmas, so someone else can buy it. But bands do this really well with creating...
Hint, y'all. You hear that hint?
Bands do this really well with creating a certain amount of merch or records, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like exclusivity and scarcity. So making something more valuable because of the demand versus supply.
I think the big trepidation with that is that small business owners feel like they are, because I feel this way too, like this is a natural inclination, I think, as a human. You naturally feel like you're capping yourself, right? So like, oh, like I'm going to be missing out on opportunity. But as Chelsea's saying, there's this very interesting dynamic that happens. And everybody knows this because, y'all, if you're into handbags, they do this with handbags, right? Like the expensive bags that are hard to get a hold of, they're the ones that are going to go for more money, right? Just like if you're on eBay, that's the whole purpose of eBay, to find rare things, right? And then have people like sit there and battle over who's going to get, you know, I don't know, somebody's t-shirt or something, some famous person's toothbrush. I don't know. But so scarcity is very real, and it is a really effective marketing strategy because it does kind of incite this like pressure of, oh, I need to buy it now, right? Because this might not come up again. So the second that Chelsea finds this vinyl that she's looking for, I already know what she's going to do. She's going to be like, I need to get it like right now, because otherwise it might not come around again, right? For a good while, or it's taken me for so long to find it.
You know, so I thought of this while I was thinking about this point, scarcity, exclusivity. We don't even have to take it that far. Just creating products that are only sold during a specific season can also create a scarcity, because people, okay, I'll give an example. Let's think about Bath and Body Works. They have specific scents that they only sell during the fall or during winter, stuff like that. Though people who like those scents, I bet you they're buying like 10 or 20 of those because they're only going to be available during these months. And once the month's over, they're not going to be able to buy it. So you got to stock up now. That's still scarcity, even though it feels less like you're capping yourself, if that makes sense, because it's for a specific season. So it's not necessarily that you made only a specific amount, but it's more so that it's only being sold for a specific amount of time. So you can do it like that as well.
Yeah, it's the phenomenon of pumpkin spice lattes, right? I mean, the other day, whenever it was technically their first day, I remember my Instagram feed blowing up with everyone talking about pumpkin spice lattes are finally at Starbucks today, starting today, right? So it's like the one thing that people look forward to. But very similarly, another way to create scarcity too is if you're doing any type of product. So let's say you're selling digital products or you're wanting to go that route. even just putting time frames on those sales, right? So we have someone that we do emails for. She's really great at this. She'll look at what she has in stock, and if she has one particular product like gummies on, you know, if she's got more gummies than she does like syrup, then she'll actually, for a week, she'll say, hey, for the next 2 weeks, I'm running this sale only on gummies, but you got to get, you know, to get the 20% off, you got to buy it before this cutoff date. And so she kind of does that naturally without planning it too far ahead. So it's kind of like she's looking at her inventory and saying, okay, I can move some of this inventory a little quicker if I do a promotion. The reason I like that she does that too, when you're playing around with the scarcity stuff, looking at your data and looking to see what actually works can then lead you to pre-plan some of this stuff. So if, let's say for Amazon Prime Day, you sell on Amazon Prime, you have some of your products on there, you know ahead of time, like, hey, I can build up some scarcity to, you know, to that point when it happens, to tell them like, hey, you're only going to get this one big 50% off discount on Amazon Prime Day. But after that, like, I'm not doing it again until the following year. You'll have other discounts, but they won't be as deep as that one.
That is a great example. Great example. I want to ask you though, and this isn't related, do you like pumpkin spice?
I do. What I don't like is that, this is going to sound weird, the pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks, like, they're actually not made from like pumpkin puree. And that bothers me for some reason. Like, same thing, the same reason I quit ordering their matcha green tea, because it's not actual like real matcha. You're getting a lot of sugar in that stuff. And so I'm just like, I'll make my own if I want. I did find a really good recipe for making pumpkin spice, like your own version of it, using, you know, pumpkin puree and all that. So I'm like, great, I'll try that instead.
Oh, okay. I don't drink coffee, so
I'll still drink alcohol though. And here's another one. Okay, so I'm putting really good stuff in my body, y'all. I'm very consistent. That's sarcasm. The interesting thing about that, Chelsea, when you're talking about, you know, having certain flavors or whatever, or products available at a certain time frame within the year. I actually the other day asked Alex, I'm like, I cannot find the fall Sam Adams anywhere. And for some reason I had a hankering for having like a, you know, that one like flavor of their beer. And so, and I'm not a big beer drinker, but I wanted it, I guess, because it was starting to cool down. And so finally he found a pack and brought it home, and I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, I got my little fix of it, and that was it. But everybody does it. Every industry has some version of creating this scarcity. So the one thing that I wanted to bring to the table, because Chelsea, you had some really great points, was, and I had mentioned this a little earlier, how the industry manages to move with technology. I think bands do a really great job of following what consumers are doing, right? So they know how people are using technology, and they pivot and adjust to that. Perfect example of this would be the amount of people that you see using TikTok these days to get their music out there, right? So it's almost like at this point, you don't need a label to really back you up if you can figure out how to get your stuff on social and how to get people to watch it and consume it. And then that way you're creating kind of your own little ecosystem of being able to get your stuff out there. Additionally, I think a lot of bands are doing a good job of diversifying what they're doing. And small business owners, listen up, because they've done this really well. It used to be that they would make the majority of their sales from just ticket sales. Okay, so then they started doing ticket sales and merch, right? So then they had merch tables. Now they're doing ticket sales, merch, releasing live versions for a cost. They're doing anything from like selling, I don't want to say voicemails, but doing these like personal, what do you call it? Video calls or videos for fans. And so I think that's what their ability to just be able to integrate and to see how people are consuming technology and where they can start to monetize off of it is brilliant. I think the bands that sometimes have a hard time doing this or just plain don't want to put in the work to do it, they miss out on a lot of revenue that they could be making relatively easy. Additionally, there are bands too now that there are some of these services that we utilize to create commercials or to do any stuff like that, where it's like you download audio files. So you pay a monthly subscription to download music that you can then put on like YouTube videos and stuff. These artists, some of them decide to go that route of selling some of their music to these companies to have people like us be able to download it and use it for, for general use. And so I think that's where for them, they look for these pockets and they say, okay, I can make a little bit of money doing X, Y, and Z. And they start to kind of create these multiple streams of incomes for themselves.
I have a point that is related to this and also not. I want to go back to -25 because you're talking about bands staying up to date with technology and stuff like that and being creative with how they connect with people. The -25, one of the things that I love about them, and I'm going to pull their Instagram up, is that what they do, I mean, I don't know if they post any of their music on social media. Their reels are, let's see, what does this say?
They probably don't.
How to fit in with sports fans when you have no idea what's going on. And then they list a bunch of absolutely ridiculous tips. And then at the very end, because they do multiple of these kind of videos, at the very end, they'll say, if you related to this video, you might like our music. And I don't know, but that really works for me because that 5 fun tips for when you feel existential dread. So not only are they very good at
right up your alley.
Not only are they very good at niching down, being very clear about what their brand is, but they're using technology in a very interesting way. They're not just going, here's my music, which they could be doing. That is a valid strategy. Instead, they're doing something different. They're saying, let me grab your attention. Let me show you our personalities. And then, hey, if you really like this, go listen to our music.
That to me equates like the 2023 version of going and getting your bat signal up and saying, hey, we are here. If this is you, this is us too. Like you listen to our music, right? And like you're saying, it's a very strategic approach to saying, hey, if you're this type of person and you related to this, you're likely people that will like our community. You'll like our music. You'll like hanging out with our followers or whatever else. I think that is fabulous way to utilize the technology. And that's the thing too, Chelsea. I'm so glad that you touched on this because a lot of times there's this sense, whether in small business owners, you may be feeling this too. You don't have to be a lead singer in a band or a guitarist to feel this. You may feel like doing certain things feels like selling out. The truth is though, you got to make it work for you. So like Chelsea said, if you're a band and you're saying, I don't want to post my music on Instagram because I don't want to do that. I would rather have them go to Spotify where I actually get paid for it, X, Y, and Z. Then there's a way for you to utilize and leverage the technology. Like she was just saying with this band, they're not posting videos of themselves playing. Now, I will say, there's a band that came out. It's a group of all girl band, and it's The Beaches, I think it's called. But they actually had a song that kind of went viral. And so what they do is they'll do like little clips of them like practicing. So that way they're still not putting their performances on there, but it's giving you enough of a preview where you're like, oh, I did like that song. And so now I kind of know what their other songs sound like. But it's definitely interesting to me that a lot of people shy away just from technology, or I think sometimes we're so hard-headed that because I'm like this, y'all. I do this all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's just weird to me. Like I'm not, but it's because I feel like I'm just not being creative enough, or I'm not giving it enough thought to make it work for me. I can make anything work for me. That's the truth of it. Like all of us can, right? If you feel like something is not working, or you just think it's garbage or whatever, it's probably because you're really not giving it a chance and being creative enough to say, how can I spin it so that it works in my favor?
Absolutely. Also, did you know we've seen the Beaches live?
What?
Yeah,
What
we've seen
are you
them. They were
talking
at
about?
the
I've
Innings
not
Festival.
seen the Beaches live.
Yes, you have. They were at the Innings Festival. They were playing
Chelsea.
before Wolf Alice. They were playing before Wolf Alice. We were listening to them.
Chelsea, that is wild. Because I was just looking at tickets. I was like, oh, I'd probably go see them at some point. Oh, okay. Okay. So amazing. That's what social media does. I seriously have been like watching, like I'll watch their videos because I like their songs. They're catchy. And I think I just like them because it's kind of like that. They're not teenagers, but still has a little bit of that teenage angst in it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I dig it. I could listen to it. And I'll watch their videos, and not once did I ever think, oh, I've seen them before, or that sounds familiar, or any of that. It's so funny. That's why I keep you around, Chelsea.
It's true.
Imagine you're going to be doing this when I'm 90. You're going to be like, Vivian, don't you remember we did X, Y, and Z? All right. So I hope that these tips will help you guys out and that you can pull from some of it. Sometimes, Chelsea, I feel like it's good. And we, I do this a lot where you have to get out of your industry and you just got to look around and see what people are doing. Because the thing is, I think there's a lot of creativity with the way people go about handling their business, their bands, their sales. And you can sometimes see something that sparks enough of a, just an idea for you to be able to take and morph that into something for yourself. So hopefully that's what this episode will do. I know you guys are thinking, I'm not a band, I'm not a lead singer. That's fine. Take from their playbook, though. What works for them and what is super effective in building their brand can certainly help you make more sales in your small business.
You know what I want you guys to do and tell us about? Go look at your favorite band or your favorite musician's social media, look through it, and let us know if you get any ideas for your small business.
Love. Yes. Tell us if you're taking anything from it. Or, it could be if you're a fan of the Grateful Dead, if you're a fan of Dave Matthews, which Chelsea's friends endearingly tell me that that's their, dad's music. Whatever it is, tell us who your favorite band is, and after you go check out their Instagram or their social media feed, tell us what they're doing really well, or if it's email marketing, whatever it is, just share that with us, in the comments below. But you guys, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the S.O.B Marketing Podcast. We love our time with you, and we hope that you guys will come back next week to hear our next episode, which, Chelsea, I think we have No, it's not going to be the next one. It's going to be after that. But you're going to want to tune in to all of our episodes because, Chelsea, we do have a special guest coming on, right?
We do. It's either going to be next episode or the episode after that. You'll find out when we find out.
That's right. So we'll keep that one tight-lipped. But thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. If you are looking for marketing videos, be sure to check out our YouTube channel under The Seasoned Marketer. If you want weekly marketing information, news, and tips sent straight to your inbox, go to our website at theseasonedmarketer.com and be sure that you opt in. We do send out weekly emails. So lots of information, anything marketing related, just come to us. We'll be the nice little hub for you guys. And that's it. So, Chelsea,
go out there, be the best SOB you can be.